Hi guys, so I wanted to make a video on the topic of, do men actually hate attractive women? Because I have too many clients that come to see me after they've gone on a date with somebody new, and anytime I channel the energy of this person where I'm like, yeah, this guy seems like a good guy, but the only thing is he seems to have a problem with you being attractive or getting a lot of attention. 9 times out of 10, most women do not understand this. They genuinely believe that the energy I'm seeing doesn't make sense, because how can that be a problem? They're attractive. Isn't that what men want? So, because I see this too often, I'm going to break this down, like really break it down as if we are two friends and we're vibing, and I got the details for you in this private reading, because that's how I want to break it down. And I hope, this makes sense to a lot of women out there who don't really understand this, because it can be a little bit mind-boggling. But for the women who already understand this topic and get it, maybe this will just be confirmation for you guys, or clarity, where things were maybe not so clear. So very straightforward, but do men hate attractive women? Not all. Not all, but a lot of men do. Yeah. So moving forward, everything I'm about to discuss is specifically about the guy, the distorted male, who does not like attractive women, but yet will still date them, okay? And the reason I'm putting this out there is because you're going to see a lot of familiar things, and you're going to be like, isn't that guys in general? No. No, it's specifically on this topic. And also, I feel like this video could be really helpful for guys out there who genuinely don't understand why they can't find a girl to commit to. Yeah, this could be a video for you. Who knows? Okay, so the men that do feel this way, they feel this way because they feel that attractive women are hard work. They feel that their usual playboy tactics, meaning the games that they play, will not work on these attractive women. They believe these women are intuitive or can see through them and their bullshit. They feel that attractive women seek attention from people other than them, the man. They also believe attractive women can get more attention than them. This bothers them. They feel that attractive women act like the world revolves around them, meaning they're selfish. They feel that attractive women believe you should cater to them. They feel that attractive women will either tease you or lie to get what they want. They feel like they cannot trust them. If these men do not have their feminine and masculine energy balanced, then this is an aspect of themselves they would not see about themselves. They notice a pattern here, but don't fully understand it. Meaning, if you were to go up to a guy who is always dating attractive women, and if you were to say, you don't like attractive women, this guy, more times than not, would be like, do you not see in front of you? I am literally dating an attractive woman. How could you say I don't like this? This is how it would appear. Nine out of 10 times, this is how it would appear. They feel that attractive women love to spend money. However, it does feel like a magic carpet ride to talk to and date these attractive women. I wanted to include something nice. So they do like the energy, the feeling, because it's like they're in this woman's presence and they like what they see. But at the same time, it's not enough to actually keep them. So let's break it down some more. Why do some men not like attractive women? Isn't this what they want? This is the biggest question I hear all the time. Isn't this what they want? And I understand. I get it, because I was once you. So I really get it. So yes, short answer. But they also don't have faith in the attractive woman. They don't trust her, and they are willing to sacrifice ultimately being with the attractive woman if they don't trust her. Now, just want to put this out there. If you're thinking that everything I'm already saying is just about guys that are out there dating women in general, and it's not just about like the attractive woman, I would argue this 1000%. But I'm going to continue this on in the video, and you'll see why. They also don't believe the attractive woman is easy to control, and don't feel like she's someone they can control, meaning she is not tameable. They believe attractive women are more willing to be sneaky, to steal or cheat, something deceiving, and feel like these women can get away with it. Like they wouldn't get caught, because deep down they believe this person would over time mirror their own shadow qualities. Are you guys following here? So the reason this is specifically regarding attractive women is because these guys understand that these women have experience with dating or with getting a lot of attention. This wouldn't be something foreign to them. So, because of this, they believe that attractive women can basically try to pull one over on them if they really wanted to. But this is actually something that they know about themselves that they do, because they're actually going into these connections trying to pull one over you, or I guess under you. They despise how attractive women can get sex just by dressing a certain way. They dislike how easy it is for them to get this. Because again, if it's easy for attractive women to get this, then it's easy for them to get played, to get cheated on. You see what they're trying to protect? They're trying to protect the heart. They despise how I just said that. Sorry. They believe attractive women see their own worth and see what they can get by withholding themselves back, by having boundaries. They believe attractive women will make you work to have access to them. So again, if these guys are going into it thinking this is going to be short term, not long term, because they have an idea about who you are as a person, why would they want to work for it? I mean, yeah, to some degree, they are the hunter. They want a little bit of something to chase, but not full on work. No, it's honestly so sad. It's so sad, but I'm going to continue. So they dislike how attractive women have the whole room's attention. It makes them feel ungrounded. And they like to have grounded energy, meaning like, it's almost like their male instincts kick in to want to, I want to say, and I don't believe every guy feels this way, but to pretty much like fight the guys who are staring at quote unquote their girl, or the woman that they're showing interest in. It's like, mine, like some type of, I mean, it makes sense to a certain degree, but it's just, they don't like this because of how it makes them feel. It makes them feel like they need to act like they don't see what others see in her in order to feel more grounded, treating her like she isn't special. Otherwise, they're angry and they want to fight others for staring at the attractive woman, while at the same time not wanting the woman to see that she has the power to make him feel as if he's fallen for her. So just in case that one isn't making any sense to you guys, he does not want this woman to feel that great about herself, because he already believes she has a big head. He doesn't want to make it any bigger, because if he makes it bigger or confirms the things that she already believes about herself, if she does think this way, then it's like she can easily control him and get her way with him, which is what he is trying to avoid. This is the whole point to this craziness. They feel like attractive women are hard to please. They feel some of their power being taken away, almost as if you have power over them. They make future predictions about you and how they're going to feel about you in the future, and they believe they'll be in their feelings. Highs and lows, no mental clarity. It feels like they believe they'll be controlled by pussy. They will always be wondering how you really feel, because again, they do not trust the attractive woman. So just in case you guys are not following this so far as to how sad all of this really is, because it makes you think like, this doesn't make any fucking sense, right? It does stem back to childhood and inner child wounds, because it really does sound like a child, right? So yeah. So what does this say on a deeper level about men who feel this way about attractive women, yet are still dating them? Because I do believe there are certain guys who have this mindset about attractive women, and they honor that mindset and they stay away from her. They don't entertain her. They don't try to date her. They date women, however you want to phrase it, that they feel are either more controllable, or just women that they would get along better with, because they already have this idea of what the attractive woman would be like. So, what does this say on a deeper level about men who feel this way about attractive women yet are still dating them? Inner child wounds that revolve around their mothers who didn't express as much love as their soul needed. And because of this, they believe that in order to feel good, they cannot allow emotions to override their logic. So, in order to keep this in check for them, they need to feel like they have the power or the upper hand in relationships, connections. They want to remain feeling abundant and not taken out of character. They believe that attractive women will ultimately take them out of character. Now, this is because their mother had abundant energy herself, or their caretaker, meaning their mother was either independent or didn't rely on validation or wasn't the type to express love so easily or often enough. They themselves would have to go to their mothers to get love because their mothers did not just openly express this. And unconsciously, these men believe that if they were to love you or to express their love or to really give you a fair chance, they'll never get their own energy back, meaning love, which is something they experienced in childhood. They believe that dating an attractive woman long term means they'll have to fight or ask or work for the attractive woman to openly give love, almost like they did or felt like they did with their own mothers during childhood. So just to be clear here, this is not saying that their own mothers didn't love them or didn't express love. It's just that somewhere in their childhood they may have had to constantly reach for their mother, like hugs, or I love you, I love you, I love you. They would have been one of those overly I guess sensitive child, however you want to phrase it. And it's just like on a soul level, they needed more. It doesn't mean that their own mother didn't do enough. Like, I cannot state this enough. So it's very sad because most of them aren't in touch with this, but their higher self, their higher consciousness tries to help them with this. But instead, what they end up consciously connected to is the thought of that they value their feelings and don't want this woman to hurt them. And they believe this woman will or could. But instead, they end up hurting her first because they believed that's what she was ultimately going to do to them. And because of this mindset, whether it's conscious or unconscious, they believe that attractive woman would do them dirty because really, it's what they're planning on doing to attractive women. They're being selfish to prevent themselves from feeling less than. They feel seen and validated knowing they can get attractive women, knowing attractive women are attracted to them too. This helps them feel good when attractive women give them the stamp of approval, which also means they themselves don't feel good on their own and they don't approve themselves. They need something outside of them to do this, which is why they date attractive women despite not actually liking attractive women, due to the characteristics they believe all attractive women have, which essentially is attractive women use men for attention, or XYZ. This is because they themselves actually do this. Remember earlier we discussed if these men do not have their feminine and masculine energy balance, then this is an aspect of themselves they would not see about themselves. They notice a pattern here, but don't fully understand it. These guys hold back self-expression when it comes to their true feelings. Again, the inner child. This is talking about the heart chakra and being able to express romance, love, fun when it comes to dating. So when it comes to being vulnerable, and no, this is not how all guys are with all women they're interested in. It's just not true. They hold back their divine feminine energy. For example, when you buy clothes but you don't wear them, you use excuses as to why you don't. So in reality, you are holding on to the clothes and you're storing it, making every excuse as to why you can't wear the clothes just yet. The same applies for men and their feelings. Example, having the mentality of, she's not the one, so why would I express this side of myself? But then this just keeps happening with every attractive woman that they go on dates with. So then because of this, they're really not open or vulnerable. Apply common sense here, because I'm sure these guys do open up to a certain degree. So then they attract women who do the same. So essentially their track record would look awfully familiar from one attractive woman to the next. And this is the karma they experience with attractive females, because they themselves hold back their feminine energy. They then attract attractive women who may do the same, who aren't willing to be so vulnerable. But really, it's because these women are calling a spade, or they're calling their bluff. They have been taught at some point in life, either through family or friends, that the attractive woman will hurt you, take advantage, or something else. They also themselves have been hurt before by an attractive woman, so they prefer to keep the door closed to attractive females when it comes to allowing them into their heart, because they never forgot. So what is the solution for men? Because ideally, if there's a solution here, let's give it, so this way, then women can feel better about, dating, or, being attractive and being in the dating world. So they would need to understand that everyone is looking at this woman for the same reason they are. She's attractive and stands out. This is not something to get angry about. Why? Because men and women are looking at her. Attractive people stand out because not everyone is attractive. Most people are not willing to put in the work to be physically attractive or be consistent with the upkeep that it takes to remain physically attractive. Although everyone has different tastes when it comes to physical attraction, and everyone will always be considered attractive to someone out there, the truth is, when it comes to being physically attractive, generally speaking, most people are not. If you disagree, start looking at everyone you see every day and you'll see what I mean. And no, I'm not talking about their aura or their soul. I'm talking about physical attraction only. Another solution would be to stop looking at these women as only something to sleep with, but instead something potentially worth investing long-term into, and you'll view these attractive women differently. View the attractive female you are interested in and your connection with them in a more practical way, like you guys do most things in life, not in a irrational, judgmental way, but more so view attractive females in a way that makes sense. Are your judgment calls rational? Have you seen with your own eyes these attractive females do exactly what you believe they would? Go slow with these women. Don't go too fast. Be willing to compromise. Stop policing, meaning stop dictating and trying to control how these connections go due to fear you'll be taken advantage of or wronged in some kind of way. Let go about these women and the fears, the ideas, the illusions that you have when it comes to realizing the truth, which is you do not know her. And no matter how familiar she looks or acts, this would be more practical. Stop going into these connections with the idea that all attractive women are the same. You won't know until you give each one you connect with a try, versus going into these connections only trying to get one thing out of them, sex, because you already believe you know how these connections unfold. The inner friction you feel with attractive women is not your intuition talking to you. It's only your fears and paranoia trying to prevent you from being mistreated or played, because it's what your goal secretly is when interacting with attractive women. It's why you secretly believe attractive women will do this to you, and you don't want to deal with your own bullshit thrown back at you. In fact, you may have experienced this where they did play you, but it was only because you were playing them. This would be the karmic lesson. Stop looking at these women as pure entertainment and only as for fun, and actually take them seriously, because yes, you can still have fun while taking them seriously. Be open about yourself and not closed off with attractive women. This will help in order to push yourself to make a required change here, because clearly you guys are attracted to attractive women, which makes sense. but yet can't seem to actually commit to them, but yet may deep down desire a committed relationship. So, to prove what it is I'm talking about, giving an example, if I told you without uncertainty that an attractive woman exists who has all the qualities and personality traits you desire, along with loyalty, would you genuinely be interested in dating this person enough to the point where you yourself would be loyal? If there was no fear or no paranoia that you would be deceived in some kind of way, would you allow yourself to let your guard down? Because the truth is, she does exist. But another truth is, you cannot get an attractive woman who fulfills all your deepest desires, who is loyal, while at the same time, you yourself do not have good intentions. Energetically speaking, you cannot meet this kind of person. And just to be clear, bad intentions, whether conscious or unconscious, is you are looking for someone to use to show off. Or you are looking for someone to solve all your problems because being in love or being distracted feels like all your problems can be solved. But really, it's just you guys avoiding the things that need to be a priority or the things that need to be taken care of. Or accomplishing a social goal, whatever the reason may be. The list goes on. You can only find this person if your intentions are to want to share your heart openly with another. Again, going back to the karmic lesson, connecting back to an inner child wound with the heart. That's why it's the only way. So, how will men know which attractive women are worth investing into? Good question. Based off the conversations you have with her, do you feel like you can build something important with her? You don't feel bored with this person. This takes away the easily distracted and chaotic energy. You won't be indecisive about having to choose between her and other women because, again, this takes away the easily distracted and chaotic energy, which brings me back to the other bullet points before. If you guys go slow with this person, then it's not like you see this person's cards, all their cards up front. So therefore, there's still more to learn about them. Also, you wouldn't be bored because you yourself would be opening up to this person. So therefore, it adds more conversations. When you feel like she openly expresses her feelings and they're real, you feel like this person genuinely cares about you. The attractive females who only talk about themselves, there you go. This is a no-go. Pay attention and observe how she acts and talks. Is she nice? Does she seem sweet? How does she feel about people, children, animals? People in general should be nice unless given a reason not to be. If she is considerate, thinks of other people beside herself, including you, and asks you questions about yourself. She is willing to compromise. She enjoys making people in general happy. She has her own hobbies. She dresses well and takes care of her health and physical appearance. The distracted man is distracted due to him already believing this is short term, despite simultaneously hoping to really experience something new and not negative. But really, he actually is, because truly he isn't even giving his undivided attention to the attractive female he is connected with. He isn't fully listening to her speak, her stories. He's already not fully paying attention to her intentionally in order to set the power dynamics. This way, he has the upper hand and is technically never emotionally attached. Hence, it wasn't that serious. This is really because he is always thinking about more than one female at the same time. He is never actually paying her his undivided attention. Again, this is specifically in regard to the men who date attractive females, but actually don't like attractive females. So it's self-sabotage, where when they aren't consciously aware of what's happening, like why can they not find the one, it's because they were really going into these connections already believing she was not going to be the one. And whether he sees this or not, he may be expecting something new with a new attractive woman he is now entertaining or talking to, dating, whatever you want to call it. But he's actually expecting something negative to happen, while at the same time hoping something new happens. Like maybe this will be the one, while doing absolutely nothing different with this chick. So, how can women spot them? Does he not give you much eye contact while on a date? Now, you have to apply common sense here, because there are just a lot of people that don't like giving direct eye contact. They could be insecure, whatever the reason is. So you got to apply common sense here. If so, this would be intentional. This may come off as him ignoring you or not seeing what others see about you. For example, he would never comment on the fact that, wow, everybody here knows you're absolutely beautiful. In fact, a guy like this may not even call you beautiful, but may use other words like pretty. So this is intentional in order for you to question yourself. He will also do this so he himself doesn't get caught up, because again, he is attracted to you and he believes that you have the potential to take away his power. It's almost similar to feeling like someone can hypnotize you if you stare long enough into their eyes. This is that same concept, whether they realize it or not. When he talks about himself, his life, or past stories, does he come off as main character energy? Meaning, does he himself always get the attention? Even if he does not come off as the type that likes the attention he receives, if he seems to always come off in the stories or past stories as always getting the attention, is he trying to share this attention with his family or friends or whoever? Or does he take the main spotlight? Meaning, is he talking about the other people in these stories as if they are main characters too? Or is he only really talking about himself and his perspective and opinions and thoughts on whatever it is he is sharing with you? Did you pretty much just hear about him talking about himself and not really being considerate of other people's feelings or thoughts? And if he does share the spotlight here and there, is it just here and there? This again goes back to these type of guys feeling like they are seeing an aspect about themselves in another reflected back to them, which is they may be selfish. And why would they want to date someone who displays their shadowy traits? Meaning they may feel ashamed that they actually like the attention they receive. If you are doing the majority of the talking and he keeps asking you about yourself, which comes off as thoughtful and considerate, however, when he does talk, it isn't that deep. He doesn't really open up or engage in anything about himself where he speaks about heartfelt topics. Again, or things that would get you to really understand him as a person on an emotional level. This one can be tricky to really see, especially because all you guys are usually talking while in the talking stage. However, pay attention to the things you are opening up about, and does he match this? Apply common sense here. If you are being too open, he does not need to reciprocate. However, if you are being open enough for this individual to get a good understanding of who you are as a person and how you handle your life and the individuals in it, but you can't really say the same for him, well then what exactly do you know about this person? When you are allowing the other person to talk so you don't have to open up about yourself, this is intentional. It's because they are testing you, but also because they don't see this going anywhere. So why would they open up themselves? These guys will not be on their phone that much while with you. Yet when not with you, they seem to be on their phone enough to text you in a decent speed. This is because they have a goal and you are the target. They're focusing in on achieving here. They are trying to conquer fast. Again, because this type of energy usually moves fast. So you get their undivided attention, thinking they really pay attention, but they may make you believe that you can trust this person because they come off as they really care. Also, take note of how they're giving you their undivided attention, listening to you when you speak, not on the phone while with you, but on the phone with you while not being with you. While at the same time, while with you, they are intentionally making you think you are not as beautiful as you believe you are, by intentionally not staring at you when you speak, or by making it seem like they don't notice that people are staring at you. Do they have intellectual conversations with you? And even when they do, are they trying to get out of these conversations? Are they trying to go back to surface level topics such as your body, you're attractive, your looks, sexual things? This man who dates attractive women but doesn't actually like them will keep you hidden, very similar to situationships or guys who use women just for sex. You won't find yourself meeting anyone in his life. You will either go out to eat or go to one another's homes to have alone time to hook up. You aren't really living life with this person or getting a true glimpse of what their actual life looks like. It's only based off of what they've told you their life looks like. Which brings me to the next question. When are these types of guys done with you? Because usually this is the stage where you guys are then looking for outsiders to, look into your situation to see what could have gone wrong. So, since these type of guys are always talking to more than just one woman, it's never really about ending the connection for another female. It's more about them losing that magnetic attraction they initially had with you. But because they are technically still attracted to you, these type of guys usually don't close the door completely. They usually leave it open-ended because they haven't really made up their mind, when they get tired of sleeping with the same individuals and want something new. Since these type of guys were never willing to share themselves, meaning who they are as a person and opening up to another individual, there really isn't much to talk about. At least this is from their perspective. They've already said everything they had to say or usually say, because to them, they will only talk about so much when it comes to their personal life. Reminder, we are specifically talking about the guy who went into this with zero intentions of taking you seriously. When they begin talking to a new female, a female who they were not talking to when they initially met you. Okay, so this one's a trigger warning, so TMI, just letting you know ahead of time, but it's what came through, so I'm going to say it. When they feel you are talking to another guy, like literally they believe this to be the case, because again, this is what they believe attractive women will do to them, which is usually why they're always talking to several chicks at the same time. They may not be consciously aware of this. They may look at this as like, no, it's because I have options, it's because I'm bored. But really, they're just keeping it moving because they don't want to get attached. And technically, they aren't attached to you because they went into it with this invisible wall in front of them. Again, their goal here is to be in and out, literally. So how do you know they're out? Because they can also, if they do believe you're intimate with somebody else and they feel this physically through intimacy with you, then they're also, out. And also this one's pretty straightforward, but if you're fighting with them, but usually you're fighting with them because it has something to do with knowing that they're like on their way out or just something doesn't feel right. Again, they don't want to be with somebody who would do them the way they would do you. Don't forget that. Meaning if they believe that you are already talking to somebody else, then they want out much quicker. So how do you know if this type of guy has fallen for you? Are you the exception or are you the rule? So the truth is there's more gray to this answer, not just black or white, and this one can get confusing. So follow me here. If they've shared more than they normally would, so obviously you're not going to know what this looks like, even if they tell you like, oh, I've never told anybody that. Like we can't trust that. We don't know. That could be true, may not be true. But this is from their perspective. I'm channeling. Like, how do you know if they've fallen for you? And again, this wouldn't look like the typical when a guy falls for you, like you're going to hear from him and you guys are going to, be in a committed relationship. No, we're talking about somebody who is unhealed, okay? That keeps it moving so they don't have to focus on themselves. So for them, how this would look is they've opened up too much. They've shared something about themselves with you that they normally don't. Whether it's because it was your vibe, your energy, it made them feel more comfortable, or it was the slip of the tongue, whichever. So parts of their life that they normally don't speak about. They reach out to you after things have ended to talk, or they never have officially ended things with you and are still consistently talking to you. This does not necessarily mean, again, that they are committing to just you and only you. It's almost as if they still want to protect themselves and have their guard up with you, so they feel like they have power, like they have the upper hand, but still feel a certain kind of way about you. They don't want to lose you completely. And before you start saying, "Oh, see, I knew I was different. I knew he cared," you're not listening. Let me finish. If you're an attractive female that they acknowledge to themselves, and this part they would be conscious of, feels very different compared to their other experiences with other attractive females. So because of this, they may feel as though you are challenging them. And because of this, they will hide. They don't want you to see that you've either figured them out or that you made them feel some kind of way. Because the truth is, they don't want to feel this way about you. So I want to be really clear here, because I get a lot of clients a lot of the time where they're always trying to make excuses for these guys. And again, I get it, literally from my own personal experience. And I feel for you guys. This is why I'm making the video, and I'm hoping this will help you guys understand it. These type of guys will never be able to give you what it is you're looking for, what it is you want, what it is you need. All that is happening is when you feel like you're different from the rest, it's because, okay, that may be true. You may be different from all the rest. You may be somebody that they always remember. You may be somebody that they will always never truly let go. But they're also not showing up. Do you see why it's important to try to learn how to let this type of person go? So I'm not saying that you guys aren't right with how you feel, but constantly blaming a third party, or that this person has trauma that they're not connected with. It's like, no, I beg of you guys not to go there. This is where that famous line comes through, where it's like, if he wanted to, he would. Yes, like that goes for any human being in life in general. If somebody wants to make a change in their life, it has to come from them. It can't be forced upon. It can't be, it just has to come naturally. That's how I'm going to end. So again, getting back to what I was saying, because the truth is they don't want to feel this way about you. Why? Because then this jeopardizes them in their mind. They feel powerless. These men will literally try to hide in every kind of way you can imagine, while at the same time not fully letting the memory of you go. This is where you guys get tripped up and confused. You have to remember it like this. Their ego means more to them than you. And they are willing to literally cut ties if that means in their mind that they are going to lose power or the upper hand, because this is truly what they believe at the end of the day it means. And I'm specifically talking about these type of guys. I cannot state that enough. I'll probably state it a few more times. So externally, they'll act as though you didn't matter and didn't have that effect on them. But that's how you'll know, because they'll never open up about how you made them feel. If you did not matter, then they would be more open to keeping that door fully open with you, meaning open contact, friends on social media, because they do not trust themselves and believe they would feel powerless. But when they believe that you do have the power to control them, the power to control their emotions, or they believe that they would not be practical, logical, however you want to phrase it. When this happens and they believe that you will take away their power, this is when you would not hear from them again. So what's the difference between the guy who essentially used you and you never hear from him again versus the description I just listed? Because it can get confusing because both sound the same. Well, the answer is pretty straightforward. One of them comes back and the other does not. Does that make sense? So again, this does not mean he can give you what you need or want. So I feel like this really confuses the woman even more so when he does come back. I mean, no matter what, it's going to be confusing because it's psychologically awful doing this to another human being. But it's more confusing when they do come back, and then it kind of creates that inner torture where it's like you want to be with this person, but they can't give you what you need, and they deep down know that. So again, when the man who doesn't like attractive women but still dates them has fallen for you, this does not mean they will let their guard down and actually commit to you. And if you are wondering, why is this? Because we are speaking about one version of a distorted man archetype. We are talking about a man that has imbalanced divine masculine and feminine energy. The point to this video is to answer questions that most of you may have once you realize a common pattern you experience with men, or you are genuinely curious to know why certain men, oh, I wrote Ken, behave the way that they do. But at the same time, we are also, Ken, but at the same time, we are also attempting to rationalize something that is irrational. When you take the time and energy to try to rationalize something that makes absolutely no sense, that's why your spirit guides or people tell you this is not worth it. Because technically it's not worth it, but your mind is trying to make logic of something so that way you can make sense of a situation and move on. But as the quote goes, truth is stranger than fiction. Basically, these guys are complicated. They're not easy. So I'm going to come back here again just to reiterate this. For the woman who experience the man that leaves and then they never hear from them again, I believe that this man used you. I believe if he does not return at any point, then no. What you felt you guys had, I do not believe that that necessarily existed. Do I believe everybody has their own journey, their own life? Yes. Do I believe this video is just channeling general energy on this topic? Yes. So you may be the exception. You may have found the guy that finds it so hard to want to be open and vulnerable with that he must stay away from you. Maybe you found him. I personally don't think so. I think the guys that do feel like you've had this effect on them, depending where they're at in their own soul's evolution, because we're already talking about somebody who is clearly immature and is dealing with inner child wounds, which is why this whole topic is a little silly to begin with, don't you think? It's more about being afraid to open up your heart because another woman is going to hurt you. So if that's the case, if this is true, what it is I'm channeling, then to me it makes sense that that type of guy, if he's still going through this type of energy and he has not matured, if he has not looked to grow from this, then I think, yeah, he would never admit this to you. If you have someone who is more mature, he may be more open to admitting how he feels about you, but at the same time, he's not going to commit to you. Does that make sense? Because that type of guy that is open to telling you how he feels about you, but still can't give you what you need, he does not believe that you will take away his power. He will keep you at a distance and he will still have his guard up despite giving you, I guess, little things here and there to keep you coming back for more, or so the door is still open. But he is confident in the fact that you cannot take his own power away from him. Whereas the guy who never is actually open and honest about this, he is afraid that if that information were to get back to you, that you would take advantage of it. However, you can't really fight how you feel. So no, I don't believe that guy would stay away forever. No. The guy who used you, he will stay away. You will never hear from him again. That's how you know. So this brings me to the next part of the video. Do these guys ever change? Because this is another big question, and I get it. Straightforward answer, some do, some don't. For the ones who felt more for you, something they didn't expect because they went into the connection for just sex. These guys, again, would be claiming, no, they were hoping for something new, but it's like, no, you really weren't. No, you weren't. These do have the potential to change, but it's usually far into the future, meaning when they're older, when, because not all humans, men and women, mature. I've literally met a woman who was close to 100 years old, and she was foul. I'll just leave it there. She never matured. So the same applies here. And when we're talking about this topic with men, there's a good chance that they'll never be mature. It's why, like, you hear about these guys being all different ages. It doesn't matter if they're older than you. It's like, yep, nope, it doesn't fucking matter anymore. And honestly, it probably didn't for quite some time. So they do have the potential to change, but it's usually far in the future, which is why, like, you should not hold on to these guys. You would waste your time. You would literally maybe avoid pregnancy, marriage. For what? For a guy that may come back and openly admit how he felt how many years later, and your life would be on hold. No, keep it moving, just like he is. Do the healing work, do what you got to do, but this is not worth it. If you guys could only see what it is I'm seeing when I'm channeling these type of readings with these guys' energies, and it's like you would never know, because you know why? They're good actors. They're good actors. So when they get older, even though they're men, and they'll always have options, right? Because usually this type of guy always has options. He's always keeping busy, which actually keeps him away from committing to you or feeling obligated to you. It's like because he's keeping busy, because he has options. So this is usually when their options begin to all look like red flags to them, and this creates a growth mindset of wanting more than just sex. So this is specifically talking about the man that eventually blossoms, that eventually matures. So this is where I'm going to end this video. In conclusion, if what they're doing doesn't make any sense, like their words are opposite their action or vice versa, and it connects to behavior unbeknownst to them, or it's one of those things where they don't really want to dive too deeply to figure out themselves and why they get into the situations that they do, then it's none of your business. That's how I want to leave it. Like it's not worth it for you guys to invest time and energy into these type of people, because when you invest that time and energy into situations that you can't fix or out of your control, out of your reach, you're wasting time, literally focusing on somebody who would never give back that same energy to you, which is essentially what they are trying to avoid with attractive women to begin with, remember. And the same works for them, because these type of guys usually feel entitled. They usually have difficulty letting go because they're usually very selfish. So it's none of their business to know what is going on in your life, and you do not have to let them know anything that's going on. Ultimately, these guys act the way they do because, in a sense, they're not wrong. They don't have control over themselves when it comes to their power and giving it away. They know they are easy targets, and they are. This is because they are still controlled by something that happened outside of them. So they've given their power away a long time ago. They don't trust themselves when it comes to how they'll be if they were to fall in love, because they felt their power leave them a long time ago. So basically, the power that they're still trying to hold on to this day doesn't actually exist. because the whole reason they are acting the way they are, which is basically playing mind games with you. It's like they feel like they are leading or they're in control or have the upper hand by playing mind games. It's like they had to stoop so low was because they're willing to do whatever when it comes to protecting their heart. They don't feel like men when they come off as needy, when they feel like they need your love, when they need something outside of themselves, even though they're already doing that by keeping busy, by sleeping with women, by dating women. When things get too serious and they've met somebody that they feel like they could have a future with, but at the same time, this person has the potential to hurt them. And the only type of woman that can do this to them is the woman that they've actually fallen for. So they will do whatever they have to do in order to not even get there. So that's why their karmic lesson is to open up their heart chakra to be more expressive when it comes to dating and relationships and trusting. That way they can actually attract the kind of love that they're so desperately seeking. So yeah, I hope this clears the air. I hope this makes sense with a topic and things that don't actually make sense. You got to remember this. So I hope this can make sense in a way that brings clarity to you guys and understanding it really is nothing personal, despite how much it feels like it was personal. So yeah, I hope this can help you guys. And I also genuinely hope it can help men out there who are open to understanding these things, better understanding themselves, because usually men like this are avoiding. They're usually avoidance. So yeah. All right, guys. Bye.